Hule Sudaba Stibela Oh Sholoza Sholo Iwe Hule Sudaba Stibela South Africa. Well, it is all over at Gqeberha. Bafana Bafana 5. Congo Brazzaville iqanda 1 2 3 4 5 Mokoena iPraise Uranus Obas and Foster. Unfortunately, he sustained an injury on the shoulder on the left thigh, but hopefully uzolulama umchita abe grand. From me now, to Kapelu Jamali. This is my views, my expression. If you haven't subscribed, please. I'm having it, as you all know. I'm having it. I'm why you sometimes because it was Bafana Bafana that was playing today.
I don't have Bafana Bafana kids, but it's only
embarrassing. Embarrassment.
Yes. Good evening, Mzansi. We are on my views, my expressions. We're all in good mood today after seeing Bafana Bafana walking over Congo Brazzaville today at the Nelson Mandela Stadium down in Port Elizabeth, now known as Gqeberha. What a beautiful game we just watched. Unfortunately,
we did saw people jumping into the stadium, as much as the game was so beautiful, but
I wouldn't really call it Samazamba. It was just.
What do you call that? Someone to jump around in?
Yeah, it's an excitement of seeing Bafana Bafana.
But you know the rules.
I know you know the rules, but you can't control.
Because
you can't control excitement. This is our national team that has been struggling for years.
I'm an analyst. I views my expression condoning umpeto.
I'm not condoning it. I'm understanding it as much as English it's not right to invade the ground, but I can understand where it comes from.
Okay. Well, enough about that. Let's talk about the game.
Yeah.
Beautiful game. First half, we saw beautiful goals. Second half, we still see beautiful goals. Maybe let's start with the lineup. How did you make of the lineup?
Yeah, I think the lineup was very good considering the fact that Gqeberha bengekho and then emuva ungezana nomvala bengekho, so coach opted for Gqeberha in the right center back, and then the center he opted for uSpunzokphaka uSiqwembe ulomfana lo Obathus Obas.
What do you call him uSpunzokphaka?
Nickname yakhe waziwa kanjalo. And then he opted for Obathus Obas, and then we had to Umshishi as a 10, and then on the flanks we had to Mokoena and also Napolis, and then on number 9 we had to Foster. All of those guys I think gave good account of themselves today, and they were complementing each other. Whenever we lost the ball, they were there to recover. I think they were into instructions very well today, and the game was very free-flowing on the side of Bafana Bafana, which shows Hugo Bruce is giving these guys a lot of freedoms to do and express themselves as they can, because you could see they didn't even they were not very conservative. You could see ama Pekili, you could see ama tripping amnandi from ama player bakhombisa ukuthi bakhululekile, and Mokoena, considering the fact that he hasn't been a starter at Sundowns, and today he shows and he reminds the country who he is. I think it was a very good game overall for Bafana Bafana, and it's very encouraging to see our national team playing like this, to be honest, at a full house Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium in Gqeberha.
Yeah, tell me about the back four, because I saw something very beautiful lapana emuva, a combination. Yes, you know, when you talk about the defense, when there is Williams, you want to talk about the four defenders, but you will always include Williams, like up into a defender is 5, because whenever there is a ball from the back or there is a set of play from him, he's always involved. Even if there is an attack, he will always be that sweeper keeper at some point, and then with your Monafuta Pinda. But I liked the combination that they held there with this guy from Kaizer Chiefs, Dotle. So, what did you make of that combination at the back?
I think Williams makes things very easy for our defenders.
Sure.
As I've said on our previous episodes, Williams is not just a goalkeeper; he is an extension of a coach.
Sure. And
an extension of the first 10 infield players. So that gives you an advantage already, because he commands its backline very well. Whenever we lose the ball, he's always alert to come and save our defense. Whenever we start the ball, he's comfortable on the ball. He sees spaces that no one can see when passing the ball to our midfielders and our fullbacks. He's just something amazing, and it gives confidence to defenders to know that they have a goalkeeper of that caliber in Roland Williams, and it makes things easier for the defense to start the ball, and also to defend when the need arises.
You just touched on Mokoena. So we all know that he haven't played much with Mamelodi Sundowns, but then he comes in with Bafana Bafana and he was exceptional.
Yeah, it just shows the class is permanent.
Sure.
I think he looked very motivated today, and he just wanted to remind us who he is, because we haven't seen him in previous games for Sundowns. And he just did what he does best, because that is a truck or bro, like he's a diesel bouncer.
Sure.
Unfortunately today, and not so unfortunately, he didn't finish the game because the game was not as demanding. The coach also wanted to give other guys the opportunity, which I think he did very well by bringing in Ukwai, who plays for cheap at the very same stadium.
Do you think combine players that are used to play with each other or in one team, do you think that has an impact in making Bafana Bafana performing well? Because you look from the back, we had Umutau, we had Motiba, we had Ukran Kekan, and then Gwazoba Udotli. So those three players, they know each other very well, including goalkeeper Williams from Mamelodi Sundowns. So the combination, they were a bit solid. And then if you are bigger, there is Mokoena Ngala on the right hand side, and then there is Opas on this other side. So all these players, they know each other very well. I don't want to mention there is Themba Zwane right in front of Apolis, the system that they were playing today. So what do you think we are benefiting as Bafana Bafana from include Mamelodi Sundowns in the national team, irrespective of how they performing with Mamelodi Sundowns?
I think it's a 50% job done for the national team coach to have a high performing team, players coming in for Bafana Bafana, because he's just being honest with himself. When they come to the national team, he knows their strengths, he knows their weaknesses. He just tells them to do what they do best at a league level or team level, and then he then mix them with other good players from other teams. And then I think with him not trying to change the way they play, it makes things easier for him and the team to perform well, which is what we've been seeing for the past 2 years. He's just being honest. And using them as how the team itself uses them.
The first half with Foster, I wasn't quite show what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
It's my opinion, but I just felt like he wasn't there on the first half. But on the second half, I started to see him more dynamic, even though he wasn't that offensive, but I could see what he is trying to do now, and eventually he managed to get that goal.
Yeah, I think at first half, as much as we did score goals, but we didn't have much box entries.
Sure.
Our goals were coming from set pieces, being a corner, and that spectacular goal from Mokoena. So I think we had more of our midfielders pushing forward, but we didn't have much of interplay within our forwards, which resulted in Foster not being very functional because he didn't have the ball to receive from our midfielders, and as a result, he was looking like he was not very functional.
Sure.
And Mokoena was the one who was making those front runs, and as a result, he got the praise. So ngefirst half nje like bese ngathola amathuba amaningi ukuthi singene eboxini.
Yeah.
Ubona namagoli ethu sangene kanjani yabo.
Sure.
So I think kube leyo nto le.
Set pieces.
Yeah. And then coach wasiyambiza in second half mhlambe I think he talked to him. That's why you saw him as a you could see him even as well the ball center, a draw ama center back, and the combination play, and the run. And as a result, he was able to register his name on the score sheet.
We saw the substitutes, and maybe the Foster one was unfortunate. Maybe it was bound to happen anyway. We saw Leroux coming in, Mufukeng, Kwaiba, and Reyners. And Morena. So we saw those guys coming in. What do you think they brought into the game that we didn't have before Bengen?
I think they didn't bring much that we didn't have, but it was an opportunity for the coach to make sure that he gives them a chance. More especially Kwaiba was his first game for Bafana Bafana, and he's playing at home. And then Umrena, he gives more or less the same of what Umtao gives, and then Umfueng is trying to gain in momentum with national team, and you're bringing him Siawina very comfortably. So lokho kumnikeza confidence ukuthi ngisho kuthiwa sekutholakala ama game anzima, at least usenaso isikhathi sokuthi abe khona eqoka ijezi lethu edlale yabo. And no Leroux hasn't been playing, although he's been called a few times before, but he hasn't been playing a center. So he also got an opportunity to angene, and it's a good thing for the coach to bring these guys abangajwayele ukudlala when you are doing very well and the game is vuma ukuze bezongena emotini nabo ukuze makwenzeka ukuthi ama first starters ethu ayalimala, at least we know ukuthi sinama cheat asenayo I game time within their tanks.
So we saw Patrick Masongane being called. We spoke about it last week, of which I was not convinced about him being called. I thought he didn't deserve it, and not because he's a bad player, but I believe that on the previous times there was a time where he was like actually on form, and he was called there, but he didn't play. But this time around, I didn't think he was on form. Not taking away he's important in Orlando Pirates, but to be called on the national team, I didn't think he deserved it. But namhlanje azange simbone bengazange ubros include kuma plans wakhe. Maybe is it because we're still going to use him when we go to Congo?
Yeah, I think for Patrick, so he's still going to get his chance. He just needs to be consistent. And today game, it was more like winning level, and so.
But that's why just.
But we still have more. We still have more Mofokeng, who are trying to build, and we still have.
But the are sitting in flare.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Bruce is very interested or being impressed by those flares. But we are still going to see him. He just needs
full capacity.
Yeah, but coach is more on principle. Umshishi can do what Masanganya is doing. Anyone like Themba Mnandi, they can always do it to Masanganya. But the sitting eye with sting a goal. No, it's good, but I never consistent.
Well, that's just about it. Because right now the spirit is very high. So I don't want the spirit to be down. Please, no. Bafana, we won 5-0. We are going to Congo this coming week.
Yeah. I think Tuesday or Wednesday.
Well, but I'm so happy about it. But we cannot close without congratulating Umshishi.
Yeah.
50 caps with Bafana.
Yeah, so I think it was long overdue for Mshishi to make his 50th cap for Bafana because if I can remember, he made his debut in around 2014, and since then he hasn't been able to be consistent for Bafana. I think previous coaches have not had a lot of belief in him. So as a result, he's only reaching 50 now, but we are very happy for him. Yeah, you are very happy for him. He's a very good player, very good professional, and a top human being whom I think Bafana youngsters needs to learn a lot from his career and take a lot of lessons from him. Yeah.
Well, that's just about it. Bafana 5, Congo, and if you haven't subscribed to my views, my expressions, please do so and share nabanye ukuze bezobona ukuthi senzani la ekhaya. From mina mfana kamninga thukapela ugcotha ujamara maqoqo inkomo ezihlangene. Amara yeah.
Asibonga.